Good morning, everybody. Now, it says to me that I have gone live and I can see 35 people with us for Assembly this morning. And my goodness, have we got a treat for you this Friday. You can see that, again, I am back in our foundation area. Who is feeding back? Let's have a little look. Let me just check that there's not going to feed back in a strange way. Ready for our assembly. Now, I need the thumbs up from somebody that my sound is working okay this morning. So could Mr. Ainscough or Mrs. Rosier pop out and let me know that it's all sounding okay? Because it sounds a little unusual to me this morning. I've got the thumbs up from Mrs. Rosier. I was getting a bit of feedback myself. Now, this morning, we have got quite a few things to do and to enjoy. But I'm going to start off with our certificates. So let me get our certificates first. Because lots and lots of you have been working really nicely at home, working really hard, and you deserve your home learning awards. So I'm going to start with these. Then I'll go on to our bubbles, and then we have got a really exciting activity for you to watch in our shared area this morning. First Home Learning Award this week goes to Leo from Lions. He's been really brave and overcoming a challenge, one of our Heronshaw values there, a challenge, after falling and then cutting himself and needing to go and have stitches. Goodness me, Leo, we really hope that you're feeling much better, and it sounds like you really had to be brave this week. So Mrs. Savage is ever so proud of you for your bravery. In zebras, Lily has got this for being a fantastic nature detective. Keep on with your hunting. Mrs. Savage has been really impressed with your hunting skills. And a little bit later, I'm going to tell you about some of the strange things that we've been finding in school. We've seen some very odd little creatures around school. From Giraffe's class, we've got Spiros. Spiros for keeping on working even when it's been really tough. He's always happy to chat on the phone, and Miss Dawson has really enjoyed having those chats as well. So that's brilliant. Gorillas, Mason, for doing lots of reading during the lockdown, and he's even been reading Harry Potter. Lovely. I love Harry Potter stories. What a delight to talk on the phone. Mr. Summers there is really proud of you. Then Felix from Leopards, working really hard at home, learning all about time and doing some 2-digit subtraction. Impressive. I like it. Now, the next one, Tigers. We've got Maya from Tigers for working hard on her 4 times table and her fractions. Well done to you from Miss Dawson. Super. The next one, for Pandas, we've got Isaiah for working really hard together with his siblings to produce some fantastic under-the-sea artwork. Well done from Mrs. Savage. Now, lots and lots of children across the school have been learning about under the sea, and I've even got some little creations that have been given to me by Mrs. Funnel, and I'm going to be asking for your help at home. So if you're at school in one of the classrooms, you can help, but even if you're watching from home with your mum and dad or your family, you can help to create something that we're going to need for a massive display at school in the coming weeks. The next award goes to Alina from Crocs for learning to ride her bike without her stabilizers. And that was all done in one day. I'm not surprised that Mrs. Revilius was so proud of you. That's really good. Well done, Alina. And then our next one for Bears, we've got Ngugi for the positive way that he approaches his home learning each week. Mrs. Champion is really, really proud. So that's fantastic. All of those winners, a big round of applause to you. I'm going to give you my nice little round of applause. And I'm going to go straight on to our awards for the bubbles. Each bubble in school has got someone who's worked extra specially hard this week to impress the grown-ups that they've been working with. Now, the first one is for Mrs. Begum's bubble with Miss Funnel, and it goes to Nicole for her exceptional work in maths this week. So Nicole, well done. You're all the way down there, and you should be really proud of yourself for working so beautifully hard this week. Our next one is for our new bubble that we started this week. It's for Miss Wilson's bubble, who's just behind me through that door. And this goes to Alex for producing some lovely English work and always being so kind to others. So that's brilliant. Well done to Alex in the room just there. I can hear them cheering for him. The next one is for the bubble that's just down here, and that's for Mr. Ainscough and Mrs. Rosier's bubble. Always one of our loudest bubbles, I have to say. For Ali's creativity in writing and for stretching his sentences. So well done to Ali. Fantastic. The next one. This is for the bubble that's so far away. I can hear them cheering now. This bubble is so far away. If they cheer, then they really do have loud voices because they're all the way down in zebras. This is for Holly for being a kind and thoughtful friend. So Miss Guntrip, Mrs. Meehan, Mrs. Singh, Mrs. Bruce and Mrs. Tyler are ever so proud. Who was screaming? Oh, Mrs. Bruce, you've got a good pair of lungs on you. The next one is for EVW in Mrs. Astron and Miss Fuller's group for showing such commitment and enthusiasm to her reading. Well done to Evie. The next one we have got for Mrs. We are such a quiet school on a Friday, I have to say. For Mrs. Langford and Mrs. Elford and Miss Bloxham's group, the winner this week is Zara for being a caring friend and being extremely helpful every day. Well done to Zara. Love it. And our last award this week goes to the group right behind me through this door, and it's from Mrs. Nichols and Mr. Kane, and it's for someone who's been doing some beautiful writing all about the story Tiddler. And this goes to Risha. So Risha, well done, right behind me. And a nice cheer from that group. Well done to all of the people across the school. I will be coming around with my certificates to give those to the different bubbles. Now, as always, I love to see who's joining us, and I like to say hello to everybody who is here. So I'm going to say a quick hello to all the people down our group. But I also, if you're watching at home and you're sitting on the sofa or you're sitting at the table or maybe you're out somewhere sitting looking on a mobile phone or a tablet, you are going to need to help me this morning because we are going to have some judging to do, okay? Because I've got 3 members of staff who have very willingly agreed to come and do a nice activity. And I need you to be the judges, a bit like Britain's Got Talent. It's a bit like Heronshaw's Got Talent. And you're going to need to choose your favourite dancer and then add the name onto the screen. So at the end of our competition, you can write down who you think your winner is, the winner of the home viewers. And I'm going to ask each of the bubbles to give a name, okay? And we'll find out who our overall person to win the competition. Now, what the competition is a bit of a secret at the moment. But first, I want to say good morning to Samar, who's watching. I can see some good mornings to Mr. Ainscough. I can see Fadil is watching and Jensen. I can see that Noah is watching and Charlotte and Hafiz. And Mrs. Savage is watching. I hope you're going to be joining in at home, Mrs. Savage, with this competition. In fact, I think you should film yourself, send it in so we can watch you joining in, because that would make our day. I can see that Rainbow Bubble is looking forward to the assembly. So good morning to Mrs. Astron's Rainbow Bubble. I can see Adrian is here and Samar, Izza, Hafiz in Gorillas. We've got thumbs up there. We've got Alice. We have got well done to everybody there from Jensen. We've got congratulations to everyone in the bubbles from Samar. Lovely. Well done to Evie. That's really super. We've got hi from Alfie, hi from Julia, and good morning from Marcus. Now, I am ready. I have got my mobile because this is quite tricky to get some music working at the same time. But I'm hoping that I'm going to have 3 volunteers who can come and join me now in the shared area. I can see one eagerly waiting over my shoulder. So let's see if my 3 volunteers are going to come. And I want a big cheer as they come and join us to join in with our Friday fun. Good morning, first volunteer. And our second volunteer. Running in. Okay. And I'm hoping someone's going to come through the door further down through school. So we have got Mrs. Tyler. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, guys. Nice to see you all.
Are you feeling flexible and ready for this?
I'm never flexible, but I'm definitely ready.
And we've got Mr. Ainscough. Yes. Are you ready as well? Can't wait. Okay. Do you know what's coming?
I really hope I do. Otherwise, I'm going to be You're kind of yourself.
We don't mind.
I don't
I've
mind
also
at all.
got
Mrs. Smith's here.
Mrs. Smith is here. Mrs. Smith, I think Mrs. Smith is here. Just to make sure that it's all above board. It's all working well. Okay. And I'm hoping that I'm going to either have Mrs. Sestron or I'm hoping to have Miss Fuller. I'm hoping somebody from the other end of school is going to come and join our dancing. Otherwise, it really is a dance-off between you. No pressure. Now, let me get my music ready. Because this morning, oh yes, willing and ready. Okay, yay, we've got our three dancers. Because this morning, I am going to play some music and I need your help. And if you are watching from the bubbles across the school, it's quite simple. We've got a few different dancers to do, and all you've got to choose is the best dancer for each dance. Okay? And then at the end of this, when we've done each of our dancers, all you need to do is tell me the name of your winner. So each bubble, hopefully Mrs. Smith will be able to help by collecting the name from each bubble at the end of the winning bubble. And we'll have a judge's decision as well. All right? So we're going to have one from Miss Guntrip's bubble, one from Mrs. Astron, one from Mrs. Begum, one from Miss Wilson, one from Miss Bloxham, one from Mrs. Nichols, and one from Mrs. Rossier. They will write down the name of their winner. And if you're watching at home, you need to write down in the comments your best dancer this morning. What could possibly go wrong with a little bit of music? Now, the idea is that I am going to play a piece of music. I'm not going to tell them what it is. You might want to try and guess what it is at home. You never know. And they're going to do, if they can, the routine to it. Let's hope I can find it. And join in if you want to at home. Okay, are you ready? Here is my first song. I shall hold it near here. Okay, if you're watching at home, do sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Here's dance number 1. There we go. Give them a round of applause. Now, oh, goodness me. Now, I'm hoping for those of you who are watching at home, I wonder if anybody knows what the name of that song was. Well, I can tell you it was the Macarena. Absolutely. I thought we'd start nice and easy. Okay. Now, the second one. It's a little different. I feel they're going to need to go a little bit freestyle on this one. Here we go. Song number 2. Oh, goodness me. Now, I'm not entirely sure if any of you have ever been to the ballet, but I don't remember it looking quite like that. So we had some lovely ballet. That was a little bit of Swan Lake.
Wow.
And I have to say, you look like swans on a lake.
I know, I can't tell it.
Okay.
It's just pure luck.
Right. And surprisingly, nobody at home has guessed Swan Lake for that one. Okay, our next song. Are you ready? Here we go. Very good. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I definitely feel. How are you feeling? Halfway through.
Lots of smile
Are
on my
you
mouth.
wishing Mrs. Jackson to come down
I
this
wish
morning?
she had you.
How you feeling?
I thought there was going to be one song.
Oh, okay, let's have a look. Oh, so, Mrs. Savage at home has said so elegant. I'm sure that's in reference. I am sure that's in reference to the ballet that we have just seen. Okay, right. Our next one, you'll be happy to know we have 2 more. Okay, and our next one. Can I just say to everyone who's watching, you should have come with a little health warning there for you at home. There we go. That was indeed the hacker from New Zealand, if you didn't quite guess it. Okay, now we have got our final dance of the morning, and then you are free to go and rest quietly in your rooms. Here we go. There we go. Big round of applause for the final one. There we go. Now, I am Mrs. Smith. Is it possible for you to do a little trip around the school to get the names of their favourite dancers? Goodness me, we've had a little dance. They are just calming down behind me. But please, I would like you watching at home, give me the name of your best dancer, and I am going to quickly tally up your scores while Mrs. Smith goes round to each group. So let me see. Who are we coming up with here as the dancer? Okay. I'm going to write them all down here. Who was your favourite dancer? Oh, it's going to be a close competition here. You can see lots of scores coming through. We've got a few that are saying that you're all winners. You'll be happy to know that you're all winners.
Thank you. Yes, you are participating. You did maths on campus.
Oh, it's very, very close with the scoring here, I have to say. Feeling the pressure.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
It's a 3-way tie at the moment with the scores, I have to say. 3-way tie. So it's all going to come down to the bubbles and their scoring. Now, while we are waiting for them to come down, I am going to do the birthdays and celebrate the birthdays from this week. So I'm going to move my camera like that and say that, yes, at home this week, we've had lots and lots of people celebrating birthdays. So Noah has been celebrating, on the 2nd of July, he celebrated his birthday. Lily May celebrated on the 29th of June. Happy birthday. Alexandra on the 3rd of July. And Mrs. Langford is also the 3rd of July. So happy birthday to Alexandra and Mrs. Langford for celebrating their birthdays today. And Mrs. Zastron as well, celebrating her birthday yesterday. Kept that very, very quiet. So happy birthday to 2 of our staff members as well. Now, Mrs. Smith is running around these bubbles to get the scores of the winners. Oh, neck and neck. Oh, it can't possibly be neck and neck right to the end. Let me have a quick look down the rest of our scores on here. Oh, I can see we've got my scores. Going to get my tally going. There we go. And a Mrs. Tyler. And a Mrs. Tyler. And a Miss Drainscombe. Oh. Right, we're going to add our scores together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we've got 1, 2. And we've got... Okay. Right. A drum roll for our 3 dancers. I am only going to announce the dancer that has been voted the Heronshaw's Dancer of the Day. Really well done, guys. And it goes to Mr. Ames. Thank you very much. There we are. Goodness me, what a nice way to finish a week with a dance-off. Screams coming from their bubble. Very, very happy. Thank you very much, everyone who made a comment there to join in with our fun on this Friday. And thank you to all our bubbles for doing the important job of voting as well. Now, I did also say that we had some strange things that have been going on this week and some strange people that have been found around the school. We had in our foundation playground a little creature, and I have to say this 8-legged creature was not impressing Mrs. Langford or the other members of staff who were down in foundation. The spider that they found was quite huge, but they have disposed and tried to find a nice little place away from school for this spider to be. Now, the other day, I was sitting in my office when suddenly Mrs. Tyler came to the door, and in her hands, she had the biggest toad that I have ever seen, and it got saved from our garden area. Now, this toad was quite happy sitting in Mrs. Tyler's arms and got carried very carefully out of school to find a safe place in the environment. So if you live in Walnut Tree and you're walking down to the shops past school, keep your eyes out for toads because they might be hopping across the path in front of you. Also, the bike trials. We have wanted to do our bike trials, but because the weather's been so bad this week, there was no time between the showers to get any more done. That does mean that, Mr. Kane, you are in the lead still with your 22 seconds, but do not forget, we've still got a couple of members of staff who are raring to go the moment the weather gets better. Now, the final thing that I want to share with you this morning, I want to talk to you about some crafty creations, because our school display that we have from our office all the way through to the classrooms is something that we are incredibly proud of each year. And we have done Alice in Wonderland, we've done knights and fairies and princesses and dragons. We've had lots of exciting ideas in the past. And we are going to do Under the Sea this year. So the blue backing is ready, and we're going to have some beautiful creatures that do live underneath the sea. But we haven't got everybody in school that we would like to join in with making something. So even if you are at home, we would love you to join in and help to make something that can go as part of our display. It doesn't matter if you're in foundation, year 1, year 2, we would love to have a contribution from everybody. Mums and dads, granddads and grandmas can join in as well if they would like. And I've got some examples to show you. Mrs. Funnell has made a tiny little turtle here, and you can see that she's used the top of a milk bottle to be the shell for the turtle, and then she's just drawn on card a nice little turtle shape, and I think that makes a fantastic little sea turtle. And what an amazing idea to use recycled materials to make something that can go onto our display. And it makes us think a bit more carefully about plastic that gets thrown away, and the way you should be ever so careful to make sure our plastic goes to the recycling places and doesn't end up in our oceans, because that's not good for wildlife. So it's a really good way to remember. Now, here's another turtle that's been decorated with a beautiful shell. And you can see that Mrs. Funnell has used some paint and decorated with little spots on the back to make the shell very, very special. So that's a nice one. Now, sometimes if you have a treat from the supermarket, it might be a little pudding that you get, a little sponge pudding, and it comes in a little container like that. Now, it might be the right colour to start with, or you might want to paint it the right colour. And look, it has been spiced up there with a little bit of sparkly gems on its back. So its shell looks really beautiful. It's got goggly eyes as well. What an amazing little turtle to add to our display. So you might want to try and make a turtle like that. Or you might want to make something really beautiful like a seahorse. Okay, now what we want to make sure is that everything will fit into our display. So if you want to make a turtle, or if you want to decorate a seahorse, then please make sure that it's not bigger than A4 paper. All right, so my A4 paper is this big. Please make sure that it's not bigger than that, and then it will be able to join in with our display. And Mrs. Funnell said a really good idea for making a seahorse and giving it that really nice 3D effect is that if you have any paper plates or plastic plates lying around at home, you can cut off one of the edges, and that can make part of the seahorse. It makes it feel really, really nice. Now, I know that we cannot be coming into school. We can't all be coming in to drop off beautiful things that have been made. But I am going to put a box just by the school entrance. So if you are driving past and you think, I've got something before the end of term that you'd like to bring, you don't have to come into school, but you're to pop it into the box with your name on the back of it. And then I will get a message to say thank you to you for joining in and bringing something. And it would be lovely if we have a contribution from everybody that can go onto our display. So thank you very much in advance if you'd like to join in with that. The other request I have as we get closer and closer to the end of school is that I'm aware that lots and lots of children took home reading books and phonics books. And it's quite tricky to return them, a bit like taking books back to the library. It can be quite hard. But I'm going to put some pink boxes by the entrance to school. And if you've got books that you'd like to bring back, you can drop them in the drop-off box and you don't need to come into the school building, but we can still get our reading books back before the summer holiday. So that's a really big request from me, and a thank you in advance for joining in with that. I hope you enjoyed the assembly. It was lots of fun watching them do their dancing this morning. It was a real treat for me to give out the assembly awards as well. I'm going to come round school now and give out the bubble awards and hope that everybody has a nice weekend. Let's hope that the weather picks up. We've had a bit of a rainy week, so let's hope for some better weather. And I will see everybody very, very soon in our next assembly. Take care, everyone.